Alright guys, we are giving away 100 XRP if this video reaches 1,000 likes within 24 hours. The giveaway winners will be announced in Discord, and all you have to do to enter is make sure you press the like button, make sure you are subscribed, and make sure you comment something down below. And then I have a pretty cool Christmas question or special for you guys. What if I were to give you guys $1,000 as a Christmas gift? What would be the first thing that you'd buy? Would it be crypto or would it be something else? First article of today, Ripple chief excited about future of Flare networks amid imminent XRP airdrop. Now, I've thought about this for a little second, and I kind of feel as if this is kind of contradictory to our previous video, and thus I thought I should bring this point up because everything we can know about Flare is actually rather important for right now, as, well, it's getting very, very close, right? We have about 7 more days to go. In a new recent interview with CNN, Garlinghouse said Flare's push to bring smart contracts to the XRP ledger shows the flexibility and utility of digital assets. Quote, "This is a very exciting startup. They're doing some very interesting stuff with something called the Spark token, but it is really distinct from what Ripple is doing. To me, it's just a further example of people's recognition that XRP is such an efficient digital asset, and as you and I have talked about, utility will drive the long-term value of any digital asset. Seeing a company like Flare Networks and seeing them use the XRP network in various ways is an opportunity to go forward. But it doesn't affect RippleNet customers and how we are using ODL for our customers, and thus, again, it doesn't really matter to Ripple, whatever Flare is doing. I mean, even if they scam everybody, it's not like it's going to affect any XRP holder for that matter, because it's something completely separate that's built on top. But whatever they do, it's not going to be hurting XRP or even ODL for Ripple. As for what the coming airdrop will mean for XRP holders, Garlinghouse says investors are rightfully excited about the possibilities. And quote once more, "I think XRP holders are deservedly excited about what Flare is doing. I'm excited about what Flare is doing. As we've said, anytime you're seeing real utility solving a real problem, and I think Flare has carved out an interesting niche, and as they move forward with this airdrop of Spark tokens, I am optimistic for them. I've met the management team there, and I think they're very talented, and I think they have a clear vision of the problem that they are going to solve." So from that perspective, again, it's like we are negative towards it because I don't think it will make us rich, and they have a lot of it, but Brad Garlinghouse is kind of excited about it, which, has kind of piqued my interest as well. I like that. I like the idea that he's liking it as well. Then Ripple's XRP sees explosive 1,151% trading volume spike in November. XRP saw a huge surge in volume. However, this is a little bit less cool than I had expected, as, well, this is just on eToro, that trading platform. Even though on a lot of other places it has also traded a lot more, this is the only place that we got some statistics on. And I guess the real reason it becomes kind of cool is because it has done it so well in comparison to other cryptos. But on the contrary, we also knew already that XRP was the best performing coin in the whole of November. XRP led November's crypto bull run with 169% gain, and as Bitcoin dominated headlines in November with its rally towards an all-time high, one of the most prominent alternative cryptocurrencies or altcoins, XRP quietly jumped, well, not quietly at all, 169% during the month to the top performance ranking among the digital assets in the CoinDesk 20. So the only coin that comes very, very close is XLM, which we also like to talk about on the channel since, those two are very interesting. Distinct, kind of the same, yet very different and very interesting. Oh, that's kind of I should say, very interesting, both of them. They look very similar, yet they're quite distinct, right? And that's the fun thing about them, because they gain together, yet they are a completely different thing. That's kind of cool to think about sometimes, about how different they are, yet how close they are to getting to the same goal. I love that. As the digital asset space has seen renewed interest in the second half of 2020, a new wave of investors are looking for ways to get exposure, said Brian Mossoff, CEO of the public traded Canadian investment fund Ether Capital. Ripple appears to offer exposure in their portfolio, and a quick Google search may result in some users believing XRP is cheap and likely to become a product banks utilize for cross-border settlements. Also sounds to me pretty damn exciting. Ripple co-founder Jeb McCaleb intensifies XRP sales as the price slumps under 60 cents. Now, it actually doesn't really matter what the price is for Jeb McCaleb's sales. He actually sells the maximum amount that he is allowed to do, and that is actually determined fully by the volume, not by the price or anything like that, like some people have been commenting down below. However, it's a pretty positive thing. It is something which is, it's a positive thing in my opinion. You know, the more that he's selling, the faster he runs out, so the faster we can finally go to the moon, I kind of feel like. And also, the more he sells, the better XRP is doing because the volume is up. And that's one thing I also like to remind people of. If he is selling a lot, it means that XRP is doing a lot better because at least the volume is up. And eventually he has to sell all of this, right? So better get it out of the way as soon as possible so we can finally start to gain afterwards. Because him dumping all the time is not really a bad thing for XRP. It doesn't really hurt it too much, but it's definitely not an added. It's not a bonus. And I mean, Ripple has been purchasing XRP back. We heard that before. But if he is selling this much, all they're doing is just buying up some XRP that the co-founder has sold, right? They're not like really buying anything separately then, like buying really, really back, but they're just buying what the co-founder who quit is selling, which is, again, a little bit less bullish than I would like to paint the full picture for. Then here, Ripple's Spark token airdrop will foster adoption and push the XRP price up. So I actually get this question quite often still. What do you think about December 12th? And do you think that day will be a huge day for XRP? I mean, you talked about Flare just now, but how big will this be for XRP themselves? And I would like to point out that I think that there's a good chance, there's a good possibility that XRP will be up that day, but it will not be because of Spark. We've seen these types of situations so many times in the crypto space here, and I can almost tell you guys with certainty that that's not it, Chief. I can just almost tell you guys with certainty. If it's going to go up, it is not going to be because of Flare, but it may do so though. It may go up. That's definitely something I cannot counter. It can happen. It happens very often. So please, guys, understand that. Now, with that said and with that in mind, will we? Will we though? Well, it kind of looks like that. I mean, it kind of looks like the 12 right now is looking at like a good date. And again, I don't have the charts open right now because some of you guys said do stuff we can understand in the car, so I'm going to try to do that. However, if we check the price here on a, let's say even say a daily a monthly perspective here, and even a 3-month perspective, even a year, whatever, you can see that everything for Bitcoin at least, and in turn XRP as well, are looking good, right? And they're poised to keep continuing on with these gains. They had a little bit of a downfall here, not even a proper correction, but an interesting one to maybe like 16.5 thousand. And now it's recovering back upwards. And I mean, it's going to have dips every so often. It might go from 19.5 to 19 or 18.7, something like that. It's all normal. It's all part of the game. But eventually we're going to be going up. And it kind of feels like right now we're going to continue on with the gains. We've been deteriorating. We've been converging to that bullish pennant we talked about before. But I kind of feel as if one of these days we should get another pump, at least towards 20,000 if we did not breach it even. However, some have said this is just the converging phase before we fall down heavily, right? We hit the top, 20,000 cannot be breached, and so we're going to be falling back down. And if that were to be the case, the strategy of buying Bitcoin or selling Bitcoin just below 20,000 and then buying back once we hit above there is another strategy which may work out. I mean, it's everybody their own thing, but it's something to consider, you know. And from that perspective, once more to kind of conclude what I've just been trying to say, the 12th could be a day of huge gains. It could definitely be so, but it will not be because of Spark, but it will be because of Bitcoin's hopefully breach of $20,000. Let's hope for it though. Sometimes it could also be that XRP gains on its own, as we've just seen that Bitcoin relatively did not even gain that much. Let's quickly check here. Bitcoin went up relatively low. It went up about 40% or so in this time period in November. Well, XRP went up 170. So it's not that crazy if XRP were to go on a hike of its own. But then the question comes, why would that be? As of this point, there's a lot of incentive for Bitcoin to go up. There's a lot of it. A huge amount even. A huge amount. As we got all these institutions buying in. And even though there are conspiracy theorists all the time, and I keep talking back to them saying, man, there's multiple reasons for everything, I do see what you guys are trying to say. I can't consider it. And yeah, even though I don't think Bitcoin will survive for the next 25 years, there's a good chance that the bigger institutions will be buying into right now before buying into other coins like XRP. And thus it will keep gaining on and starting all the gains at first. So that's kind of my conclusion about this. Again, the 12th may be good, but it's not going to be because of Spark. And even if it were to be because of Spark, it's most likely the time beforehand. Like right now is when XRP should be going up, because most of the time it's like a week and a half before the event. Right now we're only a week away. And people would have most likely bought in by now. And as we've seen before through the book The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham, I believe it is. In that book, which I've covered about 50 times on this channel before, but I haven't done it in a couple of months now. One of the quotes that I found very beautiful is that if everybody anticipates these gains, if everybody anticipates a huge physical event, or just in this case an event in general, then everybody who is willing to buy in has already done so by the time that the event really occurs, right? Unless there's a probability of failure where a succession leads into higher gains because more people will then hop in because they didn't believe in it. If there's not really a chance of failure, like in this sense, or with backed, as we've seen before, when you announce a date but everything is already known about it, then all you're doing is kind of making an announcement of an announcement where people are already buying in because of anticipation. And they're buying the rumor, selling the news, but then in a certain sense where they're buying the news and really selling the actualization of that news, right? If I, for example, say there's going to be a burn of 10 million Bitcoin, or let's say even half the XRP supply was going to be burned in about 1 month from now, fact, it's going to be burned, people would start to buy it instantly right now. They would go ahead because they know after that month prices would be going up. But why would they really be going up? Well, I guess to a certain degree because the circulating supply is lower then, or maybe the total supply. However, in another degree, the prices should not be going up because everybody who wanted to had already bought at that point. And people had already gone up for it. And the only thing is, in this case here, that change might be such a drastic change where, again, the scarcity is a lot heavier. But for Spark, in that certain sense, everybody's been expecting it for months now. So it's not like all of a sudden that day or the day before, people would suddenly buy heaps of XRP, unless once more something really heavily changed on that date. Like, for example, if no exchanges were supporting it before, and maybe 3 days beforehand, every exchange was supporting it, yeah, it could be that they would buy in, right? But generally, if nothing happens, you guys get the picture, right? I've painted it perfectly, I think. Then, once more, why I think things are looking good. Paul Tudor Jones has also explained it before now. Bitcoin is extremely undervalued, talks about the future of crypto. 20 years from now, the digital currency will be very commonplace and cash may be gone, said the hedge fund manager while name-dropping Ethereum and Tether. I would just like to point out that I think this market cap that we're seeing right now for Bitcoin and even XRP and all these coins are just so low relatively to what we're going to be seeing. 350 billion is so futile to what is possible. You got to consider one of the most major currencies right now is only worth $26 billion. You may say, but oh, that's a lot, man. That's a lot of money. No, it is actually not if you start to consider what a major company could be worth. If you start to consider that, or what these currencies of countries are worth. If you guys get that, how much money is circulating inside of that one. If you start to consider that, a major company can be worth more than $2 trillion, theoretically speaking. And a currency, which is just literally the value that people transfer, it's not even just necessarily you guys you get what I'm trying to say. Like, it's not in a company like that. It's just in currency. It's like locked up in what people could just hold on through for that way. It's so much less. It's not, and just from that perspective, I can't really see it as a possibility because you might say, okay, a company has way more utility than XRP does. That's one we can debate about. But it's also my idea that just people will go and speculate much more for this. Like, gold is also having that multi-trillion-dollar market cap, right? If you guys don't think Bitcoin or any other crypto here can go to $8 or $9 trillion, I think we're on different wavelengths because I personally do really believe that. I think crypto will eventually be at least a $40 trillion realm market, at least. How long will it take? That I do not know. All right. When are these huge institutions are going to be hopping in, and how inflation is going to be moving throughout these years? As I mean, America is right now having the craziest time of our lives. That I do not know. But that I know it's going to be going up is a fact. It's, at least for me, a fact. Completely factual. No questions asked. So from that perspective, I also don't mind if there's losses. I don't mind if the prices are going down for a little bit because I have the bigger picture in the back of my head and I'm going towards it. So 1 day of falling, 2 days of falling, 1 year of falling, I do not mind. I'm buying more. I've told you guys I'm buying every single day, and I'm going to be keeping that up for a little bit. I'm just going to be keeping that up. And if I fail, or if something really crazy happens, like the price rushes towards $15 per XRP, yeah, I might have to reconsider the strategy. But the way it's looking right now, we're going to go through. We're going to pull through by every single day. And I'll tell you guys exactly how that one is going after it's been over. All right? Maybe like on January 2nd or so, or maybe January 3rd, I'll talk to you guys about how my purchases over December and November have bought out and how much profit we're in or how much loss. Because I know once more it's a long-term hold, so I don't mind. But maybe some people say I'm the dumbest guy out there. Maybe prices will have fallen back then, and yeah, I might look like a dumbass. I don't really care, though, what I look like. I have the bigger plan in mind. So yeah, that was it for my video of today. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe, and I will definitely see you guys again in another crypto video. And for all the people watching from the Netherlands, fijne Sinterklaas.